Good afternoon, you guys. I hope you have been well. Oh, for some reason, Chicken's on my lap right now. And surprise! She sometimes thinks she's a lap dog, and you're not a lap dog. You're a big baby, though. And she wanted to sit on my lap, but now she's like, as soon as mom started filming, I think I'm gonna make a ruckus and make this about me. Oh, now you wanna go outside the second I press record. Huh? Hold on. We're back and we're situated, and Miss Chicken. Hey, girl. And Miss Chicken is right in her spot. She really do be my co-pilot, huh? You my co-pilot? Anyways, hold on. I put a question box up on my story a few days ago just to let you guys ask all the questions that you may have, and I decided that I would be answering all of them for you today. I'm going to kind of break it up into fitness and non-fitness, just so you guys, if you only are here for fitness, you can watch that portion, and if you are here for fitness and like my personal life, you can watch the whole thing. But again, I just wanted to break it up for you guys. Going to do personal questions first, and then we're gonna move into fitness questions. I've been getting lots of questions about how we got little Miss Chicken. She's right here being a stink butt. It was kind of random. Mitch had a client who fosters dogs, and so one day he texted me and was like, my client just came in. She showed me a picture of a little puppy that needs a home, and she thought we would be the perfect candidates. So me being like, okay, we do not need a dog right now, but I love animals, I'm like, fine, we can go see her. The biggest mistake will always be going to see her, because the second we saw her, she was ours. Even though mentally and like the house we were in and like financially probably we're not ready for little Miss Chick, didn't matter. You're mine. So we rescued her, and actually the story about her little bloop, her little tongue, is kind of sad. She actually was surrendered to the vet, and when she was surrendered at like a very young age, I want to say like 8-9 weeks old, she had a broken jaw, and apparently man and woman who dropped her off claimed she tried to jump into the car and they shut the car door and it hit her head. The only reason I'm a little skeptical about that is just because they did not bring her in for 2 weeks, so my baby girl was just lying around with a broken jaw for 2 weeks, and because her jaw was broken for 2 weeks, she wasn't able to eat, so she was like 11 pounds underweight, like literally just skin and bones. Don't piss me off. They brought her to the vet. The vet was like, okay, you either need to surrender her to us or you need to euthanize her. So they surrendered her. She was taken by this like animal program where they then fostered her out, paid for her surgery, and then we found her. Everything is better at the end of the day. Chicken, do you want to come say hi? Your toes smell like tortilla chips. Okay, I guess. Are you just gonna fall asleep like that? Red light therapy link. Okay, I have been loving red light. Literally love it so much. I have a mask and a large panel. It's actually sitting right over there. I will link it below for you, but my code Marissa does save you, I believe, 10% on these panels. Highly, highly recommend if you are in a place to invest in red light therapy. Jewelry links. Okay, all my jewelry, I will also link that below. Oh, you want to get down now? Why are you bloop? Look at her little bloop. Do you see that? Why you got your tongue out, huh? I cannot with her right now. My jewelry, I will link that all below for you guys. I wear 99% gold just because I'm so sick and tired of buying cheap stuff on Amazon and it tarnishing and it turning my skin green and buying new jewelry every other week, that I'm like, F it, let's just invest and never have my neck turn green again. I love you so much. Oh, why are you so cute? Microwave. Little microwave. Why he's an outdoor cat now. Both he and Z are both outdoor cats. Long story short, why the cats are outside, I'm just gonna tell the whole story. Z poops and pees on me multiple times throughout the day, when I'm sleeping, when I'm awake. We have had Z for about 4 years, and 4 years of being pooped and peed on while you sleep, I couldn't do it anymore. I'm not even gonna lie. And I am the world's biggest animal person. I don't even have to justify why he's an outdoor baby now, but just to give you guys peace of mind, we did literally everything to try to get him to be inside. So he's full-time outdoor kitty. Even to this day, now he poops on top of like all of the beds that we put out for him outside. I'm like, bro could poop anywhere, but instead he decides to poop and pee on all the cat beds we put out for them. Microwave has pica. Pica is the urge to consume non-food items. This jacket, if I were to take it off and throw it on the back of a chair like any normal house, you can do that. Microwave would see that and be like, yum, nylon. I'm gonna go chew a hole the size of Marissa's head in that jacket. I'm not even kidding. Let me pop up a photo right here of some damage he's done. Yeah, not that this is the main reason, because my cat's life is far more important to me than clothes, but just to give you an idea like of how long he had been doing this, probably about $2,500 worth of clothes, and we had only had him for like not very long. Okay, he gets to a point where we have the house locked down like Fort Knox. He's still opening closets, he's still breaking into things, he's moving on to other things like shower curtains, eating shower curtains. He's moving on to any type of fabric that you can find. Blankets, we literally, cat toys, we literally can't have anything. We can't have blankets, we can't have pillows, we couldn't have like throw pillows, we couldn't have rugs, area rugs, we couldn't have like nothing. Cat toys, nope. So we have the house locked down like Fort Knox, and all of his cat toys have been transitioned from plushies to plastic balls and like, you know what I'm talking about. And one day he is throwing up, or like dry heaving liquid, and that's a sign that there's an obstruction and the body is trying to reject it, but it's like not coming up because he's throwing up a lot of like bile. And I'm searching everywhere, I'm looking at clothes, I'm like trying to figure out, what did this cat eat? All of a sudden underneath the couch I find a literal plastic mouse, like a plastic mouse in half. So my little baby Micro consumed not entire, but like a piece of plastic like this big, and it's lodged in his intestines or something. We rush him to the vet, emergency vet. We already know where the story's going. And I just want to preface, I will do anything for my animals. This surgery included, I would do it again. But if I can avoid doing it again, I will avoid doing it again. Something with pica is the only cure. We did everything to get this little baby cured. One thing that they need is stimulation all the time, which I can't do all day. Like I can do for 20 minutes a couple times a day, but I can't do it all day and all night. And all night is when he would be going ham, okay? We get to the vet and they're like, we can save your cat. It'll be like $8,500. And we're like, okay, do it. Cause like, what are you gonna say? No, don't do it and my cat dies? No. So we do it. Micro gets the surgery. He has stitches from literally his little neck, like right under his chin, all the way down to his little cat parts, like literally stitches this big. The vet hands him to us and he is like making gurgled noises. And I'm like, okay, why is my cat gurgling? And so we asked, and they said he did have aspirated pneumonia during surgery, which is I think when you throw up during surgery and it goes back down or something like that into your lungs. But everything's okay. On a scale of 1, which is really, really bad, he needs to stay in the hospital, and 5, which is he can go home, he's at about a 4. And I'm thinking, gurgling does not sound like he should come home. Where are the antibiotics? Like, what are we doing? But when doctors and vets are repeatedly telling you your cat is okay and to go home and enjoy the rest of the night with your cat, there's only so much pushback I felt comfortable doing, you know? So we take him. First night home, I'm woken up by Mitch, and all he says is like, hey Riss, I'm just feeling a little, like, I just have a weird feeling. I'm just gonna go check on Microwave. He was upstairs in a room with nothing in it at the time, just cause like, we're like, lock this house down. So Mitch goes and checks on him, and then I like get woken up again at like 2 a.m. and Mitch is like, Riss, I don't want to scare you, but I found Micro laying in the middle of the floor and he's fine. He just is having very labored breathing. I think we should take him into the vet. So I'm like, ugh. So we pack little Micro up, go to the vet at 2 a.m. The vet tries to re-explain, he has aspirated pneumonia. I go, I know. I literally am like at my wit's end because I know what he has. And I actually named off everything. I'm like, he has aspirated pneumonia. He has this. He's on this antibiotic. He's on this. It should have been fixed by this. Da 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 da. Like, I've heard this a zillion times. You guys told us to go home. And now I'm sitting in your office at 2 a.m. and you're telling me he needs some type of, I don't know what he needed, but they basically were like, it's gonna be another $2,500. Do you want to save your cat? Obviously, I want to save my cat. So Mitch and I are like, here's Microwave, save our cat. We go home. A few days pass and the doctors are like calling us regularly just to keep tabs on micro. So one day I'm at the gym, maybe like 2 days later, I'm at the gym. I get a call. Hey Marissa, it's your vet. I just have an update on microwave. Yeah, what's the update? Oh, well, he's on a ventilator right now, actually. I'm like, what the fuck? Bro literally had mild aspirated pneumonia like 3 days ago, and now my little baby's on a ventilator. They're like, he's not responding to the antibiotics very well. We're gonna try and do everything else and like try other options, but he's breathing at like a very low percentage of what he should be able to breathe at. So at this point, I'm crying in the gym. I'm literally in the corner of the gym like, what do you say? I go, well, thanks for letting me know. Like, call me when you, like, crying. It's crying so bad. I have to literally get Mitch to pick me up because I'm like, I do not want to drive home right now. And so Mitch comes and picks me up. We just are like dumbfounded that our cat, who was on the road to recovery, is now on a ventilator. Life support, I think, is pretty much what a ventilator is. Thankfully, over the next 4 to 5 freaking days, mind you, just think about how much a vet bill is going to cost when your cat is on literal life support for like 5 or 6 days after getting surgery, after getting x-rays, after doing all the things that they have to do. Okay, to the end of the story, they get him under control. The antibiotics finally start working. Microwave is finally on his way home and eventually back in our house on the road to recovery. Great. What's not so great is the fact that that whole ordeal cost us like $15,000. I'm gonna be transparent. Yeah, that shit cost a fucking arm and a leg, okay? I think we were the most frustrated was because when we picked him up from the initial doctor's appointment and we questioned them and said, the pneumonia, like the aspirated pneumonia, are there any antibiotics he could come home with? Like, I would have rather paid $30 for an antibiotic for 2 weeks proactively than to be back in the hospital for a week and a half while my cat's on a ventilator, you know? So I think that's why we're so frustrated. Like, I would pay for microwave surgery in every single lifetime. Like, I would. Anyways, I probably should have gotten pet insurance, but we didn't realize the severity of the situation. So microwave is an outdoor baby and he is doing so great out there. Like, we see him every single day, multiple times a day. Like, I do bring him inside, but like, it's not like he's sleeping, because when he's sleeping inside the house, that's when he wreaks havoc. So we'll bring him in, we'll play with him outside, but like, he has been loving life. He is like a true outdoor kitty. That's the story of little baby Microwave and Z. That's the cat story. I feel like that was so drawn out, but I get so many questions about Microwave and they're like, where's Micro? Like, Microwave's here. He's living his best life. He's an outdoor baby now. One more question and then we're gonna move on to fitness stuff because I know that's why you guys are really here. Oh my God, this girl goes, I saw you at Aritzia over the weekend but didn't want to interrupt or be weird. You guys look so cute. Love your videos. Aw, that's so cute. Oh, I wish you said hi. Okay, hold on. Back to my questions. Okay, another question that I've been getting a lot. A lot of you don't know I'm adopted. Yes, I'm adopted. I was adopted from Hainan, China when I was 2 years old by my mom. So that is why when you see my mom and when I referenced her as my mom, I know you guys are confused why she's white and I'm Chinese, but I do not have a dad. She never married, so it's always just been me and my mom my entire life. Would not want it any other way, just to clear up some confusion that I'm not like half white, half Asian. I don't have an Asian dad. I just have my mom and me, and I was adopted when I was 2 years old, and it's just been the two of us for the past 25 years. Moving on to the fitness portion, the first question, how often do you do cardio and how long usually when you do it? So I do cardio 2 to 4 times a week. It really just varies on my schedule and how busy I am. I try to do cardio on days that my legs are not super fatigued because my preferred cardio method is the bike. I will walk on a treadmill, but I hate running. It hurts my knees. It's just extremely unenjoyable for me. So I avoid that at all costs. My biggest thing about cardio is that if I'm not doing a form of cardio that I semi-enjoy, because I know obviously hard things are not always gonna be things you enjoy, but this is a long-term thing I'm trying to do, this lifestyle, this fitness. And again, if I'm doing cardio and I absolutely hate it and dread it, I can totally see myself falling off. Personally, I love cycling. I've been doing it for, I think I just got an email from my like cycling profile that I've been doing it for 20 weeks consistently. So that is crazy for me. That is actually huge for me. And again, there are days where I do not want to cycle, but 90% of the time I'm looking forward to it. It's a 30-minute cycle that I'll usually do. You're in, you're out. It just My body doesn't ache afterward. Obviously, like my heart rate gets up, but like my knees don't hurt. I do cardio about 2 to 4 times a week. Preferred method is cycling. I do walk on the treadmill, but typically when I'm walking on the treadmill, my heart rate doesn't get up like I want it to. Someone also asked if I do sprint intervals. I do not. I have in the past, but that's not really my method of training, so I just don't do that. So yeah. Cycling is where it's at. This one says, can you share your macro split? I know it's different for everyone. So the reason I do not like to share my macros is because I know how impressionable I was when I was beginning my fitness journey, and I do not want you guys to see my numbers and copy them exactly, because they may be too many calories for you, or it may be not enough calories for you. It really just depends. We all have such different body types that I just don't want you guys going down that road. With that being said, I did film literally the one and only, and I will probably never do it again, YouTube video. I'll pop it right here. A full day of eating where I sit down with you and I go through all of my macros. I don't want you to take those numbers and copy them, because I just don't want you to think that it will work for you. I do have another video where I talk about how to find your perfect macro breakdown, so please do that instead. But yeah, so I'm not going to necessarily share my macros with you or my calorie intake, but if you really want to know, there is a full day of eating where I walk you through every single one. But yeah, I don't want you to walk away eating exactly what I eat, okay? Promise? Okay. Erica said, not a question, but you're my role model. Love your content. You guys are so freaking sweet. Like, I'm so corny. Like, literally, when you guys say nice things to me, I just get so like, Someone asked, how long did it really take for you to see your abs? This is going to look absolutely different for everybody. You could already have a really, really good base and be very strict with your diet, cut calories, stay on top of your protein, stay on top of your cardio, and be able to see visible abs within probably a few months. Or if you're someone who doesn't really work out and is just getting started, there maybe isn't a strong muscle base underneath the layer of fat that you have. And I don't mean layer of fat in a bad way. That's just literally how it is. Like, we all have abs, and it just really depends on how much fat we have over that layer of abs. And once that fat decreases in percentage, that's when you are able to see visible abs. We also all have different genetics. So my abs will look completely different from your abs. It's kind of like muscles and glutes, and like, obviously, yes, we can all lock in, we can all stick to our diets, all be really not eating junk food type of thing. But your abs and my abs and her abs over there gonna look completely different. So it really depends. If you're working out consistently and eating the right things and your goal is to lose body fat, I definitely think within a few months, if you're consistently cutting down calories and your body fat percentage, you will see a noticeable difference in your abs and just all around physique. I'm trying to leave that kind of open-ended because I don't want to give you like a clear, concise answer, because it could be a longer time for some, it could be even shorter for others. We all have such different bodies, so just remember that when you see your role model online, the time and effort it took for her to get there will probably be extremely different from your own journey. Next question, how you deal with cellulite? Is there something you can do to take care of it? So me personally, I don't get a lot of cellulite, but when I am a higher body fat, if I do get it, it's right below my butt cheeks, like on my hamstring area. That's where I store a lot of my fat. One thing to note, cellulite is not something to be embarrassed of. Do not be embarrassed about it. We all have it. It's very natural. Don't let social media tell you that it's not. Secondly, the only way to get rid of cellulite is just to decrease your overall body fat percentage. So just losing weight. There's no way that you can reduce fat in only your legs and not your upper body, vice versa. You can't spot reduce. So to lose cellulite, you just have to lose overall body fat. How much caffeine do you intake a day versus how much water? So I consume an amount of caffeine that I would never, ever, ever, ever suggest you guys to consume. The only reason I do it is, one, because I love the taste of energy drinks. Like, the carbonation is just so good. But two, I'm not sensitive to caffeine. If you are someone who is sensitive to caffeine, please stay away. But me, I probably have like 2 or 3 energy drinks a day. Today, I will say today, I've only had one and I only drank about 3/4 of it, and I'm not gonna touch another energy drink. But when I am drinking energy drinks, I do tell myself to have at least 2 glasses of water, so 8 to 12 ounces for every energy drink that I am drinking. So if I am like, you know what, I'm gonna have 2 energy drinks, I make sure I am chugging that water. And then my overall goal for water intake is about 100 to 128 ounces. This one asks, what are 3 tips you have for someone starting their fitness journey in the gym? First, I would definitely say go in with a plan that you know will work for you long term. I remember when I was first starting my fitness journey, I would say, I'm gonna train 6 days a week and do cardio 4 days a week, and I'm gonna eat healthy every single day. And yes, that is a great goal to have in the grand scheme of things, but when you're a beginner and you're not used to going to the gym every day, you're not used to eating whole foods only all the time, like all these things that you're just switching up in your life, you will find it very difficult to maintain that for longer than a few weeks to a month. So start realistically, whether that's training 3 days a week, doing cardio 1 day a week. That's okay. You don't have to be in the gym every single day, but finding what's comfortable for you, getting comfortable in the gym, and then working your days up. Don't jump in it and just be like, I'm gonna do this 12-week plan, it's gonna be great. Like, yes, do that if you think you'll stick to it, but finding a routine for the gym and surrounding the gym that's going to work for you and allow you to continue on your journey for more than a few weeks before you get burnt out. Huge, huge, huge. Like, definitely do that. So that's my biggest tip. My second biggest tip is be very patient. Don't go to the gym for 2-3 weeks, and when you don't see an insane amount of progress immediately, do not get discouraged and quit. This takes time. I've been working out and in the gym for probably 7 years now, and only in the last probably 2.5 years was I actually knowing what the heck's going on, actually doing things that worked for my body, loving what I'm doing in the gym, not miserable, finding a routine that works for me. I'm not saying it's going to take you 5 years to do that, but I just spent a lot of time trial and erroring, and also going through different phases of life: high school, college, post-college, working 9 to 5, transitioning to full-time, like self-employed. Like, a lot of life factors are going to affect your routine and your fitness journey. So be patient. If you just keep working hard and your timeline looks like this, that is okay. As long as you are trending upward, it's okay to have little dips where life happens and maybe you're not seeing as much progress as you want as quickly as you want. Third thing that I wish I knew when I was starting my fitness journey is that it does not have to be all or nothing. You don't have to start your fitness journey today and say, I'm cutting out all sweets, I'm cutting out everything bad for me, I'm cutting out all processed this, all processed that. Yes, you do want to reduce your consumption of less nutrient dense foods, but if those are something that you truly love, like we all have our vices, you know? Everything in moderation. Like, for me, I will still have a sweet treat every single day. Do I have 6 Oreos every night? No. Do I have 1 to 2? Yes. That will not destroy your gains, because I've found that when I took out those sweets and those things that I really loved, I saw great results and it worked. But after 2 months of not having any candy, the next time I saw candy, I would literally binge eat candy. It was really, really bad. Now I eat candy or like less nutrient dense foods every single day, and I have maybe half to 1 serving, and that's it. I don't overdo it, but cutting it out completely really, really messed with my mental health and just messed with me when I saw that food in real life. So it's not all or nothing. You can reach all of your fitness goals while still eating like the foods that you love and doing the things that you love. In moderation though. Music or podcast during a pump sesh? If music, who is the go-to for summer vibes? First off, if you can listen to a podcast while lifting, like, props to you, because I really be so zoned out where like I won't even remember where or what I've been doing for the past 5 minutes because I'm so just like out of it that there's no way I'd actually also be able to listen to someone telling me really informative things in my ear. So I listen to music. I do have a music playlist. I'll just link it below. So yeah. I hope you guys like the type of music I listen to. I feel like it's very 2015, not rap, kind of rap, R&B, pop vibes. It's hard to specify a genre nowadays because I feel like every single artist is like a little bit of everything, you know? Anyways, I'll link my Spotify playlist below for you guys. What do you do when you hit a plateau and aren't seeing any results? This is a good question. Either I incorporate a few things to challenge myself and to challenge my body. So if you are feeling stuck and you aren't making progress like you were before. One, increasing the intensity of your workouts. Something that has really helped with me is getting on a program. You can work out with me on the Alive app if you want, but I digress. Getting on a program. My program has timers, so it has rest time, and I feel like when I hear that beep, 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 that pushes me to do my set. I get off my phone, because even though you might be scrolling for just a couple minutes, you don't realize that you've been actually resting for 4 minutes instead of the 90 seconds that you should be resting. So that has really helped, staying off my phone, having a workout program to follow, so I don't just end up wandering the gym, just not really having an idea of what the heck I'm doing. You can increase time under tension with your workouts to help increase intensity, increase the weight, increase the sets and reps. There are a ton of things you can do. So if your workout is what you need to do to kind of up your intensity, those are all really great options. You could start incorporating cardio a couple times a week. You can start incorporating different types of workouts. So if you're doing mostly like bodybuilding style workouts, you could maybe throw in a CrossFit workout or a higher cardio version. Just something to really, I don't want to say shock your body, but sometimes that helps a lot for me when I hit a plateau. I'm getting a lot of questions specifically on what my fitness journey looks like. Probably 2 or 3 videos ago, I do an entire sit down where I walk you through the start to where I am right now with my fitness journey. Please go watch that. Do you think creatine has made your muscles more defined? Been wanting to try it. Creatine, one, is my absolute favorite supplement in the entire world. Right here. I use Raw Nutrition Creatine, code Marissa Saves. Like I said, it is my absolute favorite supplement to use. If I could only have one supplement for the rest of my life, it would be creatine. So essentially what it does is as you take it and as it builds up in your body, it creates more energy stores, so creates more ATP. This in turn, while you're training, allows you to have a little bit more energy left in the tank. So for example, say you are curling 10 pounds for 10 reps. The next week, because of the creatine, maybe you're able to curl 10 pounds for 11 reps. Yes, it's only one more rep, but over the course of a training program or over the course of a few months, getting those extra reps in make a huge difference with building muscle. And as you're able to build more muscle, your metabolism will increase because muscle burns more calories than fat. Therefore, you're probably going to lean out a little bit because of that muscle burning more calories, but also you'll see more progress in the gym. I won't necessarily say that it defines your muscles, because that really comes down to your calories in versus calories out. So if you're eating a trash diet but taking creatine, you may feel stronger in the gym, you may be hitting more PRs in the gym, but if you're not seeing that definition, it's probably because your calories and your food intake are not where they should be. It is a little bit of everything, but creatine is my favorite supplement. Like, I absolutely love creatine, and every time someone asks, I'm like, please take creatine. A lot of people are scared that it will cause bloating. I personally have never had that issue, and neither has Mitch, but there may be a period of time that your body just needs to adjust to the creatine. So I would give it about a week or 2 if you are seeing bloating. If the bloating does not subside after about 2 weeks, I would either stop taking it or just consult with your doctor and say like, hey, this is a super common supplement, explain what's happening, and just get better information from them. But like I said, I've never dealt with bloating. For those who have dealt with bloating, I have heard that it just subsides after a few weeks. I hope that helps. Do you always have a fixed and clear plan for the week ahead? If so, what is it, or do you follow your mood? In terms of a plan, I have a plan workout-wise that I follow every single week. In terms of everything else, I kind of just write out my schedule each week and get a general idea of what I'm going to be doing, but I never follow my mood, because I know there are days where I do not want to go to the gym. This morning was one of those days. I literally had to drag myself there. But we have goals. I remind myself that we have goals that we want to reach, and I am not going to find myself sitting at home complaining about not reaching my goals because I'm skipping the gym. I'm not always motivated. I'm not always in the right mindset, but I just push myself because I know my future self. 1, I never regret workout, but 2, I know my future self would be so upset knowing that I did that. Like, I do not want to let myself down, as cheesy as that sounds. To help with that, having a gym buddy and or having a plan will make a huge difference. Like, if I wake up and I have to go to the gym, but I have no idea what I'm doing there, it's going to be a bad workout. But if you have a plan and you have a gym buddy and you know what you're kind of going in with, like, you are going to feel so much more motivated to get there. But I don't want you to feel alone in the fact that there are days where you don't want to go to the gym, because 100% everyone else online, there are days they don't want to go to the gym. They just don't post about it all the time. And neither do I. Like, I didn't tell anyone this morning I didn't want to go to the gym, but I didn't. I still went though. And it was a good ass workout. Don't ever base the gym off of your mood. If you're gonna base the gym off of anything, it should be how you're feeling physically. If you're genuinely feeling so fatigued, physically, like, do not go. That is your body telling you you need a rest, and that is okay. Like, taking days off from the gym are definitely okay to do, and just as important as actually training in the gym. This question says, is it true that if you eat faster, you gain more weight? No. What is probably happening is the reason you may eat more, which then may cause weight gain, is because you're eating so fast, you're not giving your brain time to signal your body that it's full. And so you're able to eat a lot more in one sitting versus if you were to sit, eat a little bit more mindfully, drink water in between bites, and finish your food a little bit more slowly. Your body has time to be like, oh, I'm full, and then you might not overeat, aka then gain weight. So eating fast doesn't cause weight gain, but it can cause you to eat more because of those. Did I explain that okay? Oh well, I hope so. Please explain your approach to progressive overload. Hard to tell from ego from a good challenge. So what I always tell my girls is that your last 1 to 2 reps should be very challenging. So if I give you a rep range that says 10 reps, the last 1 to 2 reps, I want you to struggle with. I don't necessarily want you every single week to not be hitting that last 1, 2, 3 reps, because at that point the weight might be a little bit too heavy for you, and I want you to stay in that general rep range. With that being said, if I or a program gives you 10 reps and you're finished those 10 reps and you're like, wow, I could have done 3 more at this, bump up in weight. You need to bump up immediately. Secondly, always be challenging yourself, and if you do bump up and you're only able to get 6 or 7 reps at that 10 rep range that the program is asking you to be at, that is a-okay if you don't hit all of those. Now you know, and you can bump back down. The only time I would be worried about progressive overloading is that if, one, you're gonna hurt yourself and you're doing it maybe without a buddy. So don't go throwing on a ton of weight on like a barbell and get underneath it when you're by yourself. If you really are wanting to challenge yourself, make sure you have a friend, a partner, a buddy there to help just in case. But yeah, that's kind of how I gauge what weight I'm at. If you are not struggling by the last 1 to 2 reps, bump up. If you aren't able to get the full rep range and it is a higher rep range, like 10 to 12, I would bump down. If you are wanting to go heavy and challenge yourself, that's okay if you're only able to hit like 5, 6, 7 reps of 10. But based off of your program and your specific goals, that's just a pretty generic way I look at progressive overload, and also just making sure you're challenging yourself with all of your exercises. I'm still seeing a lot of questions about, do I do one-on-one coaching? I currently do not, but I do have a 9-week program, Elevate, that is on the Alive app. I'll link that below. If you use my code Marissa at thealiveapp.co, you will save 10% on your subscription. I have beginner, intermediate, advanced levels. I have an at-home version. I may have something else coming out soon, potentially an extended version of my Elevate program. All very exciting things coming. So if you want a guide or need a program to follow, come join me on the Alive app. All right, I kind of answered creatine already, but this one is, what creatine, pre-workout, and protein powder do you take? So I use Raw Nutrition. Again, code Marissa will save you 15%, and it does support me and Miss Chicken. Creatine, I use their creatine. Absolutely love it. Don't need to talk about it anymore. Pre-workout, I use their regular pre-workout as well as their pump. I like to stack them just because who doesn't love a juicy pump? I'll kind of just pop little photos of each flavor that I do like. And then the protein powder, love. I've been using their banana peanut butter. It doesn't launch till May, but I've been mixing it in my yogurt and having blueberries on top, and it's just phenomenal. And it's like 50 grams of protein. So easy. Why is the sun coming out? The sun never comes out in Michigan. Hold on. I'm also getting a lot of questions about my waist. How to keep my waist tiny, how to keep my waist toned. It's gonna look different on everyone. You can be someone who is the exact same body fat percentage as me, but your waist may look entirely different. You know, you could be 5 feet tall. You could be 5'9". I'm 5'6". So body fat and body weight is gonna look and be distributed differently across everyone, as well as our bone structures are entirely different. I don't know. I really just don't want you guys to think that if you do certain exercises or eat certain foods, you'll be able to have a specific look. just because it's not realistic. And I've said this so many times, but I spent way too long thinking I was gonna look exactly like the girls online if I did exactly what they did, and it was toxic. But with that being said, you cannot spot reduce lower stomach fat. One, you can't do it. So you are going to have to lose overall body fat to lose weight in your stomach. But two, it is extremely normal to have a lower belly pouch, little, layer of fat. You are protecting your organs. Us as women, we have to protect those organs down there. I just don't want you to think that it's realistic to not have that, because we need them to protect our organs, okay? Like I said, overall body fat just needs to decrease if you do want to lose stomach fat. This is a really good one. Do you believe in cheat meals? If you are someone who is training for a competition and you have a coach, or you absolutely need to stay on top of your calories for a specific reason, 100% like cheat meals are a thing, and I completely understand that there are like refeed days and stuff like that. If you are just a normal gal like me, training to feel good, training to look your best, training to not feel sluggish, training because you want to be a baddie and feel strong, all the above, I don't believe in cheat meals, because I genuinely believe that you can eat the foods you love and not have to sacrifice those things to reach your goals. What I believe in is moderation. Eating everything in moderation. I don't want to have to go over this little story time again, but a bag of Cheetos. We have Cheetos in our house. I'll eat a couple here and there. I won't sit down and smash the whole bag. But having a few allows my taste buds to be like, Cheetos, and I'm able to just like get that fix and then have a few more the next night, versus restricting myself, not allowing myself, and then at the end of 4 weeks I have a cheat meal. I know that cheat meal, like, I just don't believe in not allowing yourself to have the things you love when you want them. It feels toxic to me. If you can handle that and mentally you like being strict on your diet for 4 weeks straight and then having a cheat meal, like, please do that. But just for me personally, and how I know my mind works and how I know my body will react, that if I just save all my desserts and junk food for 1 time, 2 times a month, I'm gonna binge. I'm gonna eat everything in sight. Okay? So that's just my outlook on it. Is it normal to gain weight when first starting your weight training? Something I like to remind you guys is that muscle weighs more than fat. So as you are building muscle and training in the gym and putting on more muscle mass, the scale may go up a little bit, because you're losing fat, you're building muscle. And so I don't want you to be alarmed. Something that I have worked really hard to do is not look at the freaking scale. Because when I used to see numbers like that, I'd be like, oh my God, like, I've never looked better, but the scale is higher, Or maybe you're on your period, or you are retaining a lot of water that day, and the scale looks way different from how you feel. So that's why I just like to stay away from the scale, only weigh myself maybe once, twice a month, and just keep track. What I like to do and what I prefer to do is take progress photos. That is where you will see the most difference, and it just will be more accurate as to how your progress is going versus using the scale. This one says, I want to learn how to start calculating tracking macros. I did do a previous video on this, so if you just scroll down, I break it down for you. This next question is, can you talk about why you stopped tracking and what it did for your mental health? Tracking is a great tool to use if you are a beginner, if you are someone who needs routine and to see those numbers and to feel accomplished, like you're checking things off boxes. 100% it's a great tool to use if you are trying to lean out, and you can just knowing exactly what you're putting into your body can be very, very beneficial. With that being said, I do not like to track every day. I have learned the hard way that tracking for me caused me to spiral. I would become obsessive, and at the time I didn't think this was bad. I would become obsessive where I would not want to go out to eat with friends. I would not want to go out to eat if I could not track that food specifically in my fitness pal. And if I couldn't, in my head, the way I would look at it, the whole day went to shit and I would just fall off, because I would track, let's say, a yogurt, a banana, 100 grams of ground beef, and 100 grams of rice, and then comes lunch and I go out to eat and get sushi with my friends, say I can't track the roll. I remember I would like try to track the roll, try to stay on top of it, couldn't find anything in my fitness pal similar to it. So I would think in my head very all or nothing and be like, this whole thing was pointless. Like, I'm just gonna go home and eat whatever I want because like I can't even track the rest of the day. I know that's not how everyone reacts to tracking, but that's how I did. And that's why I was like, this has got to stop. I was being controlled by those stupid numbers. And if I didn't hit them, I would spiral. What I like to do is I like to track every couple weeks just to kind of get an idea of where my macros are landing. The reason this works for me is because I get obsessed with foods. Like, I literally will eat the same thing for 2-3 months straight until I'm freaking sick of it and then be like, okay, I absolutely hate ground beef and sweet potato. Like, it's the weirdest thing. So because I'm generally eating the same types of food, just like different fonts, if you will, I can kind of track only a little bit and know like, okay, this is kind of the generic calorie area that I'm landing in. But tracking can be really good. I learned a lot from tracking. I can kind of visualize foods now. I can kind of intuitively eat a lot more accurately. It's never perfect, but a lot more accurately than I could before. So I did learn a lot from tracking. And if that is something you want to try to do, I definitely recommend it. You know you and your brain best. If you think you're going to be someone who is going to spiral, I would not even go down that route. Do you still eat Taco Bell? Yes, I freaking love Taco Bell. I have been eating it less because for some reason in the last 4 months, I've been having a lot of like gut related issues when I eat junk food, and that's never been a thing for me. Like, I've always been able to go out and have Taco Bell, and obviously you don't feel great after having Taco Bell, but being so severely bloated where I touch my stomach and it hurts and I can't even lean forward because my belly is so full of air that like it almost feels like it should be an allergic reaction. Like, it's not bloating like, oh, I'm full, I ate a bunch of food and I'm full. It's like literally stomach hard. I can't even lean over. I'm like almost having a hard time breathing because of all that pressure. It's insane. So if you guys have any tips on that, please let me know. But yeah, I like the other night I went out and I had a Ben & Jerry's pint of ice cream. Same thing happened. Bloated to shit where I was literally like lying down like this on the couch and I was like, Mitch, it hurts so bad. I can't even like bring myself to sit up. Like, it was just like hard. I know I've dealt with like sorbitol and like fake sugars in the past, but Taco Bell is just processed shit, not fake sugar. It's just like, I don't know. If you guys have any tips. Okay, this is going to be my very, very last fitness question. Do you crave sugar? If so, how do you handle it and what are your favorite snacks? I absolutely do crave sugar all the time. Not all the time, but like at night, I'm like, I need sugar. I try to choose alternatives that are more whole, natural foods rather than going and grabbing like Starburst or Skittles or candy. I'll try to have True Fruit. True Fruit is my current obsession. It's basically just lightly coated chocolate strawberries. Obsessed with them. They have blueberries, they have pineapples, they have raspberries. They literally have every single fruit under the sun. And I think it's probably like for 3 pieces, like 90 to 100 calories. That is like the perfect sweet treat for me. Another thing that I love are those little Unreal bars, like the little coconut Unreal bars. Love, love, love those. I think those are my 2 obsessions right now. I don't think about anything else except True Fruit. But so if you like frozen fruit with chocolate, I highly, highly recommend True Fruit. Okay, I hope I was able to answer a few questions for you guys. There was literally so many that like I couldn't get through all of them, but I don't want you guys watching an hour-and-a-half video. Okay, I lied. I have one more. Do you ever feel emotionally affected by the bad food days you have? Do you ever binge? Yes, I would be lying if I told you guys that I still do not feel guilt when or if I go ham and enjoy myself and overindulge a little bit. No, I do not binge. This is something that I've been working on very, very hard for so long, is creating a healthier relationship with food. I will say from where I began to now, it is significantly better. But I'm not perfect. Like, I eat junk food, yes. And there are days where I eat junk food and I feel great and I'm like, whatever, like I did that, it's fine. Like, everything's gonna be okay. There are other days, probably days that are closer to my period, days that I may already be feeling down about something else. And I have always been someone who leans toward food when I'm having those moments of self-doubt, stress, anxiety. So it never helps that I eat those foods when I'm already in a state of like crashing out. But yeah, I definitely have those days. And honestly, what I do is I verbalize it, because sometimes when I keep it in my head, it will destroy me. So I'll literally say to Mitch, like, Mitch, I just ate an entire like 3 pieces of cake. I don't know why I feel guilty today, but I do. And he will say, Marissa, he'll say exactly what I would say to you. Like, you are going to be okay. one day of eating an excess of 200, 300, 400 calories is not going to hurt you. If you did that for 2 months straight, yeah. But one day is okay. Our bodies are literally so amazing. I promise one day of eating slightly higher in calorie and just overindulging a tiny bit will not hurt you. Whenever this happens, I try to sit back, chug a ton of water, and just not feel guilty and don't let myself spiral. It's always easier said than done, but I feel like it helps a lot if I chug a bunch of water after eating more highly processed foods and eating bad foods because they are higher in sodium. So I just try to drink a lot of water and just try to say like, you know what? Tomorrow you're gonna wake up and you're gonna look exactly how you did the morning before, okay? One night will not hurt you. I love you guys so much. Please do not be hard on yourself. Your feelings are valid. Don't feel stressed out. Everything is going to be okay, okay? I love you guys so much. If you have any other questions, please ask them below and I will do another video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. I love you and I'll talk to you next time.